Asia Cup thing was done on Hotstar.
Yeah.
And we are live.
Oh.
We are live at
Should
the
let us know
end.
before you go live. No. We didn't hear. No.
No, but you know what they do? I'll tell you what the norm here is. They go live because otherwise we don't stop. But listen, what
No,
they do?
the audio is muted.
audio is muted.
No.
So the audio is never.
The thumb rule is that you give a countdown.
No,
10,
we used to have that, but
9.
we stopped it. I'll tell you why. Because it was our fault. None of us pay attention to that. They say stand by, we keep talking. Then after 3-5 minutes, he again says stand by.
Guys, you live in ivory towers. मैं तो यार
Glass houses.
बाहर भी जाता
Throw
हूँ ना।
stones.
मैं तो बाहर भी जाता हूँ.
Throw
So,
stones
you know,
at
it's difficult. चलो.
people who stay in glass houses.
Like Rahul Rawat yesterday, everything was misconstrued.
Acha, that his video. No, but that is the control of the video is in his own hands. So you can't blame that somebody else went live or later. Here there's somebody else has
Or there
to.
was a sting operation going on.
Or sting operation.
चलो.
Hasn't even done that.
क्या है आज?
No, so day one has ended. And the talking point is because India have also ended the day at no loss. So the talking point is that because Australia this time have got a decent total on board compared to 177, they are 263. How much?
263 all, huh?
Yeah,
Yes.
263 is what they've got, which was the talk actually last test match, that they batted first. Had they got anything over 250, game would have been on. This time they've got 260, and I can't help but draw comparisons with the Pune test match of 2017, a turner of a track, 261 or something like they got first innings, and then we all know what
India
happened.
started well and then they collapsed.
Correct. And they went on to win the test
And they had a
match.
left arm spinner who won them the test match.
Yes.
And
then I
they
never
have
saw him again.
another left arm
Steve
spinner
O'Keefe.
now.
Which we don't know anything about, just as we didn't know anything about Steve
Steve
O'Keefe.
O'Keefe.
Yeah, there are too many coincidences. We don't know whether this test match will go the same way. So the question that we're asking at the dugout is that who do you think has the upper hand at the end of day one?
It has to be India.
Really?
I mean, India would be. India would think that they got them all out. India would be relieved that they didn't lose a wicket.
Yeah.
Australia, on the other hand, will not be very happy with the score that they got, but they would be relieved to the extent that they got some runs on the board. Now, 263 doesn't necessarily make it a good first innings total. A lot better than 177 and 91. That's it. So that way, I think Australia are going to be under pressure. But I feel the last two balls that Nathan Lyon
Or
bowled,
Chota? Huh.
the last two balls that he bowled,
Yeah.
may have actually put some doubts into the minds of the Indians.
Especially that penultimate ball stayed so
last two.
low practically.
I think 50-50 right now. I'll tell you why 50-50 is because I agree that 260 may not be a good innings, but this track I felt was turning slightly more than the Nagpur track in
the
terms
first
of
session.
turn.
In the first session.
In the first session, exactly.
That's because, it was a comparatively colder morning. The wicket may have been a bit damp. There would have been some moisture. And the ball generally tends to grip if the wicket is a bit damp and, there's moisture. And when it grips, it turns. But the second session was better.
For batting, it became better, yes.
And Nikhil, the problem on this pitch will be the ball is going to go lower and lower and slower. So the moment it goes lower and slower, stroke making becomes a problem.
Correct.
If you look at the Australian batting, I think Peter Hanscom was intelligent enough. He was getting runs on the back foot.
Yeah.
When you say you get runs on the back foot of the spinners, so you tend to think that he's using the square cut, but he wasn't really using the square cut.
Correct.
On this wicket, you cannot square cut the ball, but he would go onto the back foot and with this back foot punch, with the ball coming onto the bat, he would get runs. If Australia do pick up a couple of wickets tomorrow in the first session, they may make a comeback. Else, it's also going to be a battle of self-doubts. I mean, they would need an opening or two. If they pick up a couple of wickets in the first session, then they would tend to believe that they are on the right path. Else, Pat Cummins could also face a situation where he may be forced to think, was it right that I played with just one fast bowler?
Yeah, no, that to be so. But I'm saying, I don't know whether the entire pitch. See, the biggest fault that Indian players might make is that think about those two balls.
Yes,
I mean, yeah. No, but they may. But I'm saying, I have a feeling that those may be aberrations. That even going day 2, you may not get too many.
Back to back.
But the last one wasn't as bad. The penultimate ball, I agree, was scary.
But one thing that may actually, if you look at the replays, the ball actually pitched on the leg stump.
The penultimate or the
both the balls,
okay.
both the deliveries. They pitched on the leg stump, and then for the off spinner, obviously it would have missed the leg.
Correct.
Now, if this ball pitches on the off stump and it keeps low like it did, then it's going to be very difficult.
No, that I agree. That if this ball, as you're saying, off stump, then you're a sitting duck. More often than not, the batsman. But I have a feeling that was an aberration. That could maybe be. Day 2 you don't get too many deliveries. As sometimes you've seen that yes, some deliveries do. You got to just hope to survive those few deliveries during the day. But most other balls, I think, day 2 should be good for batting. The one thing I noticed in this pitch, which is slightly better than Nagpur, which I thought Nagpur, it made it tough to bat. There was the fact that Nagpur, if you remember, day 1, the bounce was so low. Even for the fast bowlers, KL Bharat was
wasn't coming on.
Yeah. Look at the bounce today, like one Ashwin that he got. You got that good bounce.
But that kicked because, not just because of the good bounce, I think there was a there could have been something in the pitch. Normally Delhi is a bit slow.
No, but look at your pacers. They could rely on some good bounce
and reverse swing.
Later Shami got reverse swing, and some good bounce. I mean, his deliveries, the one we got Warner out, and then the other thing that's really stand out is that they scared the Australian batsmen today with good fiery bowling. Like Siraj, for example. Imagine someone like Warner, born and brought up on those nice, fast bouncy track.
New South Wales bounce.
He was rattled, not once, not twice. They rattled him. They hurried in on with it. And Siraj especially. I think the most unlucky man, and we won't discuss him because he didn't pick up any wickets today. Most unlucky man today, Mohammad Siraj. Bowled outstanding.
He held up that one end beautifully. So much pressure he put on Warner. Warner, after he took that blow to the elbow,
he was gone.
He was a dead man walking.
He got that wicket actually.
Yeah, he was a dead man walking at that point.
Yeah, he got that.
So normally what happens is, you've got to be intelligent enough to use the short ball on the Indian pitches, where the ball doesn't really come onto the bat. Now, if Siraj or any other fast bowler would have been bowling with this speed and this shot in any other ground outside of the subcontinent, the batsman would have known what to do. Because playing a short pitch bowling is very instinctive. You know, then you go to the back foot, you know that you've got to either hook or pull the ball. Here, the problem is some balls will come, others will just hold back a while. And if you're not very sure about the bounce and the pace, then hooking or pulling becomes a problem.
Correct.
But I think David Warner's problem is something else. I think he lacks the skill. And I do feel now that he also lacks the gumption. I don't think he's...
Mentally, he's very worried about his record.
He's done.
He's done.
He's given up. I mean, he did get a double century, but before that knock and after that knock, he's not done anything. And it doesn't appear to be the David Warner that we know.
Correct. There was a lot of talk about, he needs to go back to counter-attacking. Today he was doing anything but that.
The first spell, I was looking at Ashwin, the way he was bowling. So Ashwin was bowling as if he knew he could get Warner out any moment. But look, why should I get him out? Let me, make him dance.
Play with my foot, so to speak.
No,
he was horrible. I mean, Warner, you expect so much better. Even Khwaja. Initially, his feet were not moving. Siraj pinned him onto the back foot.
No, but Khwaja you can understand since he has not got too much experience playing in India.
In fact, this is his second match in India. So.
And secondly, about Khwaja is the fact that got two poor outings in that first test match. So I can understand his tendency. Warner has been here so many times. He plays the IPL, spends so much time here. All of those things put together. So I'm a bit surprised of how Warner is. And I think, I never write anyone's obituary in terms of, but I think in Test cricket, he may still dominate white ball cricket. He's still maybe one of those stars in the IPL going forward. But I think Test cricket is done. India doesn't have a great record. This is not helping him. His place is. It's only because Green is not fit that he's playing. Otherwise, they would have pushed.
Actually,
Green
Travis Head or someone to
Head
open.
to open. Yeah, Head would have opened and he got. And next Torres of England.
Where again he doesn't have a great record.
He doesn't have a great record. So
and there's 3 bowlers there who trouble him: Broad, Anderson, and now Archer.
Exactly. I think David Warner is there. Also, I cannot just see a David Warner trying to survive. I don't mind him getting out. But I would like to see that David Warner is so used to. I mean, remember he changed his Test cricket after that conversation with Sehwag that play your normal game. Yeah, it's not happening. It's his mental thing. He's gone. But you're talking about, by the way, uneven bounce, which I feel that it was a rarity, may not happen. But let's say it increases gradually over the day. They only have one fast bowler in Cummins. Imagine in that uneven bounce, more than the spinner, I think if you had another fast bowler, especially someone like Boland, like he was bowling
very
perfect.
accurately. Yeah.
That uneven bounce would have been deadly, but our friend Pat Cummins is...
To be fair, I think there's a lack of options also.
No, they have that
No, but then Boland. Morris.
Boland's there.
Boland is
Morris
there. Morris, I think in these sort of conditions, you'd hold him back. Wayward he can be.
Because of Cameron Green's unavailability,
Yes.
Australia are not able to balance the side. But again, while India were in Australia the last time, we didn't have the first choices, we didn't have the second choices, we didn't have the third choices as well.
You went to the net bowler choices.
So it's about the resources and the resourcefulness
and the right combination.
Yes, and I somehow feel that Pat Cummins now will have to be aggressive, positive, and be attacking.
Yeah.
That's one good thing about the Australians. They risk losing while they go on to win.
Yeah.
But they've seriously got to attack the Indians.
Yeah.
I mean, with the kind of bounce that you have on this wicket, you've got to force the batsmen to go forward.
Yeah.
Again, seeds of doubt. So for you ideally should avoid the batsman going forward.
Correct.
So for that to happen, for the off spinner, you need a silly point. So the batsman knows, agar main aage gaya, there could be some.
Is gone. And
Yes.
So you have to force the batsman to go onto the back foot. Wherein, if the ball keeps low, you get him out.
Right.
Now Australia were not doing that in the first Test match. So they will have a slip and a leg slip, but you also need a silly point. That is what will make you an attacking captain.
Right.
Todd Murphy and Nathan Lang. I think 2 dangerous bowlers. Again, if Australia are able to get a couple of wickets tomorrow, early.
Game very much on.
Yes.
The new guy also actually is a bit of an awkward sort of a bowler.
His
Good bowler,
bowling,
yeah.
his
Good
bowling, Kuhnemann. He's kind of finger spinner, traditional left arm orthodox, but gets some weird wrist movement as well, which gets the batsman.
Even the new ball was turning.
Yeah.
Normally the new ball would either come in or keep straight.
Yeah.
Just turn a bit. It was actually turning.
Yeah. No, so imagine I was just reading a stat or something. Guy gets flown in for the Test match, gets into the 11, opening the bowling in a Test match. So he's apparently now the second bowler.
He's opened in the one days as well.
Yeah, no,
In his first game.
Oh, is it?
Oh,
no, but he's
wow.
now apparently the
Second spinner to be opening the bowling on debut.
On debut or something like that. So there's an interesting comment by Pranav Anand. He's saying, because you're talking about Warner, he said in that Prime Video documentary, The Test, after that India tour previously, I think, David Warner himself had said on air that I'm done in terms of Test cricket. But if that was the case, then they shouldn't have persisted with him. I don't know.
That he himself shouldn't persist.
But if you give up mentally, it becomes very difficult. Very difficult. Which means that you can't motivate yourself.
Correct.
Sridhar says it's actually suspicious. You're talking about Kuhnemann. I don't think so.
No, this arm flex is
Perfectly
perfectly
fine.
normal. It's his wrist maneuvering, which is interesting, but it's not illegal. It's not illegal at all.
No, I think what he may have seen is, I don't know if you remember that, that one particular delivery where he stopped and they showed a side on. Even I saw that replay and I was like, oh man, this guy is like really bending his elbow. But I realized that ball he was actually stopping. So
He had given up.
Exactly. So they showed that replay. But I wonder where he saw that. And that is talking about, just stopped. Jadeja again bowled no balls.
And both times now getting the final wicket of the innings.
Yeah.
And he did bowl a lot of no balls in the first Test match as well.
Yeah,
That was the one
exactly.
where he picked up the wicket in the first innings as well. And for a spinner to bowl no balls is...
when you have someone like Nathan Lyon, is he the guy who's never bowled a no ball?
Yeah, never ever bowled. He's the only bowler in history to have bowled over 30,000 deliveries, not a single no ball. It's mad.
Not a single no ball.
Incredible, yeah.
Not one no ball.
Incredible. I mean,
That is consistency.
I agree. Purushottam had asked about that, by the way. We just spoke about the Jadeja no ball. So Sridhar says no, there were previously some suspicion against.
I think that happens with a lot of spinners.
Let's watch critically tomorrow.
I think if he's bowling now, surely it got cleared. There were suspicions.
Ajay, too many requests about Chetan Sharma. You have any inside dope to share with us?
We knew yesterday that the writing was on the wall.
But you know that he'd resign. I was under the impression. Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I didn't. In fact, I'm told that he volunteered. He called up the secretary's office and said that, no, I can't handle this anymore. I take the responsibility. And the secretary said, fine.
I'm done, like David Owen.
Yes. Apparently, what had happened was yesterday. It'll be surprising to know that what went against him the most. So what went against him the most was when he was praising a few players.
Oh.
Hardik champion है, मेरे साथ आता रहता है. Rohit is a good guy, यार मेरी बात भी होती है, मेरे घर आता है. That went against him because the players apparently, including the coach Rahul Dravid was the first one to make a call to the secretary's office. He said the players are not comfortable. Then apparently a few players also did speak to him and did say that there'd be this awkwardness and how could he say this and that. I think Chetan Sharma would have realized the day the sting was
done.
He would have realized that he shot himself in the foot. I mean, these are the conversations you can have in the cricketing fraternity. But if you're a selector and a sitting selector, I did compare that with the book that R. Sridhar is writing. So R. Sridhar had been in the dressing room for a number of years as the fielding coach. Now he's coming out with so many tales. In fact, in his book he says that Virat was desperately wanting the ODI captaincy, and Ravi Bhai then went to him and said, see, you got to respect Dhoni. He is given you the test captaincy, he'll also give you the one day captaincy. Now, this also would signify the fact that Virat wanted the captaincy desperately, which means that maybe he was not getting along well with Dhoni. Now, this is a bigger revelation than the fact that Rohit and Virat are good friends. Yes, there can be a difference of opinion between the two, and so on and so forth.
But the difference here is
he's writing a book. He's going to come out with stories, but because he is no longer the fielding coach,
correct,
then it just makes sense.
Correct.
But again, Nikhil, can a former selector also write books?
If he can, nobody can stop him. You can't. My point is, I'll tell you.
This is the unwritten rule of your.
No, it's not even cricket. I'll tell you. I'll give you our example. I'm employed by this company. I may be part of meetings that are strategic in nature. Yeah. We're deciding. Tomorrow, I can discuss that within office. Exactly. It's okay. But if I'm caught outside discussing with an outsider about those strategies, my company can take action, and they should take action against me because But once I leave the company and I retire and I write a book, that in my time. So if I'm just giving a corporate example, a lot of CEOs do that. So for example, they've been part of a strategy, or even if it's not motivational, they talk about
their own stories
or company, like the company was really in doldrums, but we put a image outside so the shareholders don't get worried, but that was a lie. Actually the company was in bad. But now he's telling some 10 years later while you've gone over that.
I do feel sorry for Chetan Sharma. I do feel sorry for Chetan Sharma. In fact, I spoke to a few BCCI officials and they said the same. They said, we can't believe this thing happened. And, it had become untenable. The moment the players and the management and the coach, they said we can't. We can't bowl.
Yeah. I told you that it is sometimes even the players that you're praising, it can be an issue because, as I said, like let's say if I'm trying to put myself in Rohit or Hardik's, which he was praising, but I'd be like, that was personal. If I'm coming to your house or I'm speaking to you, that's personal. As soon as you let the world know,
then it just gives out a
Correct.
bad image.
Correct.
And the optics matter. Much as you can say nothing happened, but optics matter in such a situation.
Yeah, exactly. So I mean, that way, that's how the cookie crumbles. As Rahul is not here, jo tha jaisa tha.
Thank you, yaar.
Kya? What is he saying? So I can't.
Meet Soni, yaar. I don't know why the BCCI is not tweeted or sent out an email.
But we've told you, na.
Yeah.
Why do you have to wait for the tweet?
I mean, we told you beforehand that Shreyas Iyer was fit.
Yeah, you don't have to. That no, but he's right. That tweet came later, na, I think.
It did come later.
But
So maybe
he's saying that why
No, the tweet that came out was that he's fit to join the team. So before the tweet, we had let our fans know that Shreyas Iyer is taken off from Bangalore, is going to land in Delhi and will straight away walk into the playing 11.
which happened.
Yes.
So yeah, of course they can't tweet that. So just go up. There were a couple of questions, we can take that. Chalo, take this. If he's picked this, cricket analysis by RV. He's asking you a question.
I'll read it. Is it a good idea to make the spinning track from day one of the test when you wish to see a test match thrill last till day 5?
Honestly, cricket now, unfortunately, has become only about winning. I mean, it always was about winning. But, the charm of cricket, the thrill of cricket, I mean, the moment you start having a 3-day test match or a 2.5-day test match, there will not be any thrill in that
test match cricket.
Why is it that when India travel to England or when India travel to Australia, that is the only time we tend to enjoy test cricket?
I'm enjoying this test cricket. Though India is winning.
There are two ways of looking at it. Ultimately, we do want India to win. We do want them to play in the World Test Championship final and win that at the Oval.
By the way, the happiest I've been is looking at the Delhi crowd. On a Friday, it was chock-a-block.
And tomorrow,
it'll
be full.
Yeah. Tomorrow day after it's full. That I can tell you based on the amount of ticket requests I've gotten. So I'm telling you, it's chock-a-block. And how tough it is to get because it's all chock-a-block. But my point is, on a Friday, it's actually been the best crowd that I've seen for a test match in India in recent memory. Across centers, whether it's those traditional centers which you keep talking about like Chennai and Mumbai, which used to get better crowd, Kolkata, I think it's trumped even that. And what was other good thing Delhi to watch out was quite a knowledgeable crowd in Delhi today, because we often say knowledgeable crowd come from Chennai or Mumbai. What a great crowd in the sense they knew which time to cheer the team. For example, they knew, like Siraj was setting up Warner, so they were cheering on that, not just the short pitch delivery, but the follow-up deliveries.
Absolutely.
They're praising. And I saw a lot of chants for David Warner too, because he's a local boy.
He's a Delhi favorite.
Earlier Delhi Daredevils, now Delhi Capitals. So they were cheering him on. So apart from the one guy who ran onto the field to get a selfie or whatever else, who was caught, it was a good crowd. And quite a vociferous crowd, lots of energy towards
tomorrow,
the
I
end,
think it will be even better then.
No, tomorrow not better. Better is an understatement. Tomorrow day after though, it's chock-a-block packed. It's blockbuster.
Yeah.
The next 2 days. I'm saying even today, Friday, for a weekday, I don't think I've seen better crowd than this.
I think the lack of international cricket in Delhi in recent times probably helps that. Hasn't been a lot really, if you think about it. There were issues with the pitch for white ball cricket. It was rated poorly.
So Virat Kohli has been playing test cricket for about 12 years now.
Correct.
He just played 3 test matches in Delhi.
Yeah. But he's your neighbor right now for the next 4-5 days.
No, but is he during the match also?
Yes.
I don't think
he's not staying in the team hotel in Shahadra. He's saying it's better to come from Gurgaon to Kotla than from Shahadra to Kotla.
There are news reports which have suggested that.
So he's not only before the match, I think during the match also, I think he's there. I read a few sources based. So he's enjoying some family time. Doesn't get a chance
Virat
to be
made a statement in 2017 or 18, which just about sums up what could have been. I said
Niche
only
jana चाहिए,
5
make them.
test centers are needed in India. If you want to play test cricket, you should only have 5 centers. He said spread the ODI, spread the T20s, that's fine. And the fact is, if not 5, I mean 5 will be a bit difficult. But I feel test cricket, especially against bigger sides, should only have games in Calcutta, Bangalore, Chennai, Bombay, Delhi, Ahmedabad, of course with the new stadium, and maybe Mohali. Maybe.
Yeah, I think having 5 or 6 dedicated centers is good.
But the only problem with that is, I mean, because India is a vast country, people say that we don't then get a chance to see good teams play test cricket. Then what do you do?
Yeah.
Like I'm saying, if I'm a cricket fan, let's say in Ranchi, I'll say I'm as big a fan as a guy sitting in Delhi, or I also want to see Australia and Steve Smith and Ashwin versus Steve Smith.
Would India want to play a test match in Leicester?
I don't know.
Tunbridge Wells? When they tour England?
Yeah.
Would they be okay?
I doubt.
I mean,
they would want a test match at the Lords,
at the Oval,
Trent Bridge, at the Oval,
Trent Bridge, Old Trafford. So why can't you pay the visiting teams much the same? I mean, England, of course, they do not have test matches aside of these grounds. So that's what you need to do.
Yeah, but then that also
since 2001, it's been 22 years. Australia they've not played a test match in Calcutta.
Yeah, that's
a bit of a crime.
Yeah, but I know. I mean, I'd be okay either ways, whichever way they go. VK has asked you a question. Why is there no pink ball test now? Which is a very good question.
Yeah, I would love to see a pink ball test.
And we started with that tradition. England played.
I think the players are not happy. Indian players are not happy with the
but
ball
when you go
and
abroad,
the conditions.
then you'll have to play there.
When was the last test match they played abroad? It's been a while now.
But I'm saying when you will have to play a pink ball game. So
the last was 2021.
And if people are liking it, it was
Ahmedabad.
No, I'm talking about abroad.
Where?
In Australia, there was
Australia.
36 all out.
36, yeah.
After that, we've not played.
No. But I'm saying
we played one in Ahmedabad.
No, I'm saying, but again, if the crowds are liking it, everybody is liking it. Why not? It's a good idea. Yeah. At the end of the players cannot then decide so many things.
How much player power?
Yeah.
Mr. Shekhar is saying, morning gents. Vikrant sir, no offense, but don't understand why you feel sorry for Chetan. His revelations on Dada
doesn't like
Kohli and the extra
praising of
few players. He was a termite that unsettled BCCI. I think these are very harsh words.
Nikalna usse bahar.
Shekhar, he was a chief selector. I think he did a good job. When your team was losing, it wasn't because of the selectors. It was because of the poor performance of the selected players or the choices. As far as his singling out players, saying कि ये अच्छा था, ये अच्छा नहीं था, इसकी इससे ego थी. Yes, that was wrong. Shouldn't have done that publicly. I mean, I'm sure both Saurav and Virat will not be happy.
No.
Even Hardik Pandya, who he praised a lot,
would also
will not be happy.
Yep.
I agree with you.
Yeah. So, I mean, there's another view, like YSJ boy saying, what type of sting operation is this? Because of this, a man lost his job and he is not a criminal. I don't get it what comes out from it. But I don't think anyone says that he's a criminal. I mean, as I said, if you lose your job...
That is why I said it is unfortunate.
Yeah, but if you lose a job from your company, you don't become a criminal.
Yeah, sometimes it's just bad circumstances.
But, there will be backlash. It won't be easy for him. I mean, it won't be easy for him. What happens is that I think as a chief selector also, he did a fairly good job. Your team, even for 3 hours, were number one in test matches, one-days and T20s.
Yeah, but tell me, I mean, irrespective of what, as I said, again, I draw the comparison. If I was in a working position and even if I may have done a good job, as soon as I do something like this, my company is going to, let me go.
That's what happened.
Exactly my point.
Within 48 hours, it just happened.
Correct.
So, anime fan is saying, why do matches in India don't look good on TV? It looks very green and clean when matches are played in England.
Because of the light and the pollution.
Pollution definitely was a factor today.
And can I add one more thing? Sometime ISO stadium settings also, like we have Firozshah Kotla, not the most beautiful looking stadium. I'm
but the
being
sky,
very honest.
definitely, it is because of the light
Huh.
and the pollution.
So when we go to Australia, I mean, people
Light as in
wouldn't have-
daylight.
People wouldn't have, who
Harsh
haven't,
daylight.
they wouldn't know. But when we travel to Australia, we feel that extra sun biting you, hitting you, because there is no pollution.
You can't go out without your shades, yeah.
Or sunscreen or whatever. Because pollution is bad, so I'm no way justifying. But what pollution kind of helps is that sun is not harsh in our country, so the pollution filters it out a bit. Whereas in Australia now, sun is really harsh. But yes, that also makes pictures much clearer and breathing and general health much better
too.
than breathing this. One of the reasons why we are coughing. Chalo, one final question we'll take. Happy One says, as we saw today, ball was reversing. Why not Umesh in place of Siraj, who is more lethal compared to Siraj? Australia could be 150 all-out.
I think that's a bad hard luck on Umesh, but I think Siraj is established as a first choice now.
And he was outstanding today.
Absolutely.
Batsmen are fearing Siraj. Yeah.
Exactly.
Acha, fine. Meet
He's a
Soni
good
saying,
team, man.
out of the 4 selectors, why don't make someone chief selector? Why are you waiting for a special big guy to come from North and become chief selector?
They will have to have the 5th one after the Australia series.
But they've carried on with 4 earlier also.
But that wasn't the chief missing.
See, right now Shiv Sundar Das is the senior most in terms of test matches played. But you must also understand, Meet, that all the 4 selectors are fairly new. I would rather say that in the interim, if you want a 5th one, should go to someone who's been there. And technically Harvinder Singh was from the central zone, but he's actually from Punjab. If the board feels like, they can have him as the 5th selector, but again, even he can't be the chief selector.
Yeah, he can't be chairman. Then Shiv Sundar Das will become
the chairman.
Yeah, he will. But we'll let you know.
But Nikhil, again from the north, who are the names? Who are the big names? See,
big names. There's so many in Delhi.
Like
Nikhil Chopra, has he been selector? You can.
Again, he won't be the chief selector.
He won't be chief. Acha, Vikram Rathore has already become.
See, again, you need to understand the fact that the board also needs to double the fee for the selectors. Only then would you have people who would be willing to give up their media jobs or their commentary to become selectors.
Maninder Singh been a selector? No.
No, never. And he's played 32 test matches as well.
Yeah.
But again,
Just thought of him.
Choices.
So Crick Mania has already said SS Das is the next chief selector. He's told us.
He's asking any chance of Venkatesh Prasad for chief selector? Or
No, we need North, yaar.
Sarath already from South.
We need from
Get Chika back.
Ashish Kumar says Kapil Dev.
See, Mahindra Manath again his
Has
age,
become.
but he will have a few years left in terms of the 4-year term, the maximum 4-year term. But he's I think he's 70, so technically he can't become a selector.
I'm trying to think of players that I got, but they won't be like Murli Karthik, broadcaster now. Vivek Razdan, broadcaster now.
But again, Murli Karthik's played a few, but you also...
No, not chairman. I'm just saying North contender. I'm just looking at all.
Ajay Ratra had applied.
Ajay Ratra.
Vikram's already been from
Arey,
Punjab.
Rahul Sangvi can apply from North.
I doubt it.
We played from.
Yeah.
I'm just saying former. All I'm trying to think of is former players from Delhi who are Deep Das Gupta. I'm suddenly
He's not
saying.
played for Delhi.
But he's a Delhi. He played.
So what? No,
but he
he's
played
never
for.
played for
Yeah, he played for Bengal.
Correct.
Yeah, Delhi boy, but who played for Bengal.
Manoj Prabhakar.
Manoj Prabhakar.
But again, out of favor, perhaps.
Yeah, but he was recently coaching. I don't know. There are many. So many names suddenly came to mind. Huh?
There's actually a shortage of names. From the north, you will have either big ticket players or those who just played a couple of test matches each. So Ashish Nehra or Virendra Sehwag or Harbhajan Singh, Gautam Gambhir, they would not want to become selectors. A, because of the conflict, and B, there's I mean, for them, a 1 crore job is nothing.
Yeah.
So,
Same with Akash Chopra now. I mean, he
Yeah.
could qualify, but he is such a
But he's
successful broadcaster
successful
now.
media.
Akash would
personality
again
now.
also not
Become chairman.
become the chairman. No?
Yeah. But also, he I think he's happy being a broadcaster. Why would he let
That's a
go
good
of
enough
that?
job.
Yeah. Why would he want to let go of that? See, suddenly I just started thinking of so many.
Chalo ji.
Amit Mishra, is he retired?
No, he's
No, he's playing in the IPL.
Otherwise,
He got picked up. He got picked up.
I was just thinking, people who can. Ishant is also not. Shant Sharma is also not.
No, not retired at all.
So many players. Shikhar is
Dhawan
also playing. So many players, huh? Suddenly. Mr. Shekhar said, why decision on Stark and Hazelwood? They generally, of course, they are genuinely injured, yaar. Nahi, yaar, come on.
Big unfair to the Aussies now.
Come on, yaar. Chalo, on that note, thank you so much for your company, guys. Take care. Bye bye. See you. Vanakkam. Arey! Aaj jaldi aa jao.
You're going to live 1,000 years.
Just tell us what happened in Kotla before we wind up.
I was about to say कि हो सकता है राहुल आए. And Ajay Rahul, come here.
No,
Where are you going?
This patty.
he is very hungry too.
So what? यहाँ बैठ के खा लो.
नहीं, इससे आवाज आती है.
अरे ये वो पनीर वाला नहीं है?
अरे सारांश?
हाँ, what happened in Firozshah Kotla? अब कुछ बताओ. What is crowd was amazing, yeah.
कोटा के हीरो.
Crowd was.
And I was actually expecting.
You were?
Yeah. Delhi, because in Nagpur, what I had seen, there wasn't too much of crowd, but here we expected. At least I expected, and especially I think tomorrow being a weekend, and secondly,
Tomorrow, day after, though, based on the
No.
number of pass requests we've got, it is. It is chock a
number
block.
of passes that you distributed.
Including from members of our own team, by the way.
You have?
No, didn't distribute, he was asked. Didn't have
There are
any.
so many. Yaar, I said, yaar, boss, no chance possible.
Your friend, in fact. Oh, actually, your passes. Yeah.
So, what else happened in the ground today?
Somebody handed over an envelope to me.
Huh.
And he said, just if you could pass it on to Nikhil Naz. I haven't checked what is there in that envelope.
This is, I tell you what it is.
I don't do that.
This is an electricity bill that I haven't paid for a long time.
So somebody in Firozshah Kotla
Gave you, na?
is
I
giving me
switched.
your electricity
Yeah,
bill.
because I switched houses, na? So the old electricity.
Or his MD or something.
Empty.
His MD is a senior advocate in Supreme Court.
Oh, we didn't know who. You didn't tell us.
His
You didn't tell us who. You said somebody.
His CA is a senior advocate
No,
in
no,
Supreme
it's
Court.
not. But now you are saying these things.
No.
First you didn't.
He's a brother.
Now you are telling us who gave you the. Pehle you just came and said somebody gave me. So I don't know who the somebody. Now you're saying somebody.
Bande.
No, he has to quickly tell his experience and then what happened in Firozshah Kotla. Acha, answer.
Do you know first thing in the morning what these people were discussing and forced me to discuss the very same thing? That why is Firozshah Kotla or is Firozshah Kotla ground the most ugly looking ground in the world?
We never said like that. We are
He's
exaggerating.
exaggerating a tad.
What did you
We
say?
said why is
We said
it
it's
why is
definitely
it
not visually
aesthetically not a
jarring.
good looking ground? We didn't say the ugliest ground in the world, which you have paraphrased.
Because of the smog.
He's paraphrased
It's
it.
about the structure they were discussing.
He paraphrased
and they
it.
were,
Stands.
and they were partly
Nahi.
right.
I think
on.
you're the
Come
only
on,
one.
Only
I think
person
I-
in this.
I think you're the only one who likes it.
Nahi.
The
It's
car park
such a
style.
no. The ground is very nice.
Give me a few ideas
Is the
for
structure?
Mullapur. And Gandhi ground.
Those you can redo. This one, come on, the capital. You know, I like Ranchi and all have such beautiful stadiums, much better.
Dharamshala?
Smaller. Dharamshala.
You
everywhere.
barely play in much international
Chalo
cricket.
yaar,
They're
good
wonderful
luck.
See you
stadium.
here, huh?
Quickly.
What is it?
हाँ, बंदे हैं.
Acha, where is the match placed? Quickly, we have already given our gyan.
I think both the teams would be relieved also, and both the teams would feel that there was a scope for them to have made it a better day for them. See, Australians, they were at I think 227 for 7 when Pat Cummins was dismissed. Thereafter, they managed to score 40 more runs.
Yeah. With that batting at the end.
Yeah. So Pat Cummins also, I'm counting him as a nice batting pair with the Hanscom. So, but then they can also say that we managed to score 263 with Peter Hanscom still there. We could have actually gone on to somewhere around 300. India would say 227. We should have finished them off say for 240. And so both now India would like to have a lead of at least 100 runs, considering how the wicket has started to behave. It's not about the turn.
Yeah.
It will turn in days to come. Maybe on second day it will be more, third day it will be even more. Yeah. So it's not about the turn, because in the fourth innings, for example, if you're chasing somewhere around 175, it's not about the turn. Even if you've read the ball correctly, from the hand, that whether it's an arm ball or whether it's going to turn, everything you've read it perfectly fine. Okay, you go onto your back foot and suddenly you realize that the ball is struck on your ankle.
But we discussed that earlier. I think that will be a rare sort of an occurrence. It won't happen very often.
See, I agree. But if you see that dismissal again, Steve Smith, that was a very good delivery. Went straight with the angle.
Same action as Labuschagne. That one turned. This one just went straight.
But I thought the bounce was pretty low on that delivery.
Was that okay? I thought it was. Okay, he was very tentative, just poking at the ball. Very tentative.
No.
Yeah, very tentative.
Second ball.
Yep. So that. Chalo. No. We were discussing who can be
the fifth selector.
So North, we gave some 50 names. No, he said. No, he was saying, "Wo option hi kya hai?" Then I started rattling off
talking names.
Everyone who's played for North,
and who's represented India.
I even went to. Amit Mishra and Ishan Sharma, but they are still playing. That's what I'm saying. So went every possible person
to become a selector, you should have retired 3 years ago.
Something like that.
5.
3 or 5, I don't know.
3 or 5 years ago.
So we took a lot of names.
It doesn't matter. 4 selectors for.
I said 4 will continue, but this time the chairman is missing. Unless they put one as the chairman now in the 4,
by default,
announce, and then.
And I'm sorry to say, but this selection committee looks very, very, very mediocre. I'm sorry to say. No disrespect to any of those who are part of that selection committee, but this selection committee looks very mediocre.
But again, that debate is how does anyone who's played more matches become a better selector than someone who's played less matches?
It's the same thing.
Like Australia,
I'll tell you what.
Australia, when they were the best, had some selectors you wouldn't even have.
No, I agree.
Heard their names.
The point of discussion or the argument can be, I agree. Even you, me, Shane, we can also become good selectors. We can become.
I don't know that. I don't think people will agree.
I'll say, but
they will not agree.
But Nikhil, the point is, it's about the stature also. When you are in a meeting where you have the likes of Rohit Sharma, Rahul Dravid, Hardik Pandya, players of that caliber and stature, you need to, when you argue with them, because the players will ask for some names, will ask for a few cricketers that they want to be in their team. For example, KL Rahul, God forbid, I hope he gets runs in this match to hopefully tomorrow, but what if he doesn't? And tomorrow, when the selection committee sits to pick the squad for the remaining 2 test matches, what if Rahul Dravid says, I want KL Rahul, I want him to continue, I want him to play another couple of games. Do you think any of the members in this selection committee will have the courage or authority?
Why not? My point is, why not? I'm saying if I'm saying playing the number of matches should not. I'm saying if BCCI backs them, let's say if tomorrow the BCCI mandarins say, listen Shane, you're the selector. You never played international cricket. You played few first class matches, so you've been selected or whatever, or 5 games or whatever bare minimum. But you have my full backing. And then if that person starts thinking, I'm only answerable to my employer, in which case is the BCCI. I have nothing to gain. I mean, he may be a big player, but I have nothing to gain from him. I'm not his employee. How do I gain from a Rohit Sharma or Virat Kohli? I'm saying that's a
Shane has a very good reading of the game. Shane understands the sport, and he's got a very good reading of the game. When you two people were sitting here, he has your backing. How many times do you see him argue with any of?
No, that's a separate thing. No. But the thing is, he is in the same hierarchical structure as the company. You're forgetting that. Whereas there it's not.
And it's not about.
There it's not the case. No. It would.
Doesn't.
No. That's. I'm just saying.
He has the intelligence. He has the.
But no, Rahul. That's a fair. That's not fair because he's still part of that hierarchical structure. He may fear for something because. No. But I'm saying it's not fair because I'm saying how the fair example would have been. Let's say we were all independent guys, each from a different organization, and sitting and talking. In which case, he may not be the way he is right now. Okay? He may be much younger than me, less experienced than me, but if he had a mind of his own, he would still say, because in that case, we are all independent. You know why? Because if he is sitting in that thing, and let's say it's a session with an audience, and you are from a different organization, your boss is sitting. I'm from a different organization, my boss is sitting. And he's from a different other boss. They've only come to hear the three of us. I don't know. He's going to be vocal and he will express his opinion because he's only answerable to him, not to me. He'll forget that I'm senior or whatever. Doesn't matter. That's the difference.
Okay, I get your point, but that hasn't happened with the selection committee. At least the past.
I agree. May not have. You're right. But I'm saying
two committees that we've seen, it hasn't happened. We know it for a fact that once Rahul Dravid, he had some very strong points. He had a very strong opinion, and that is when Sourav Ganguly had to barge into that selection committee meeting just to calm things down.
I agree with you, but my point is, you may be also right in the fact that it's not happened till now. But I'm saying nothing stops a person. I am saying I'm trying to put myself in that selector's shoe. It's also my personality. If I'm a strong-headed person and I'm an opinionated person, and I know that I have been made selector by who? By the BCCI. Not by Rahul Dravid, not by Rohit Sharma, not by Virat Kohli. And I may be a selector only for 2 years, 3 years, whatever, right? Who am I answerable to? My boss. After 3 years, Rohit Sharma, Virat Kohli or Rahul Dravid not going to give me anything. It's not that they will, say that, hey, you finished with your selection. You are very good. You listen to me all the time. Please come and, join me as my partner. They're not going to do that. So why should I be doing it? So I am going to be honest only. That is how I see it. I will only be honest to my employer, BCCI. And if my employer gives me full confidence, no, go speak your mind. I will speak because I know that I'm going to be working for him for 2 years. Maybe if I do a good job, he may then have me working in some other capacity for 4 years. All these guys who are senior to me are never going to be any help to me. Whether I'm good to them, whether I'm bad to them, whether I listen to them or I bow my head or do anything, they're never going to help me.
Agree with you.
So if that's your attitude, go for it.
Because what you are saying is absolutely right. Because I am an employee, my employer pays me, the board pays me my salaries or the contract fee. But then at times there is a respect also that
so respect would be bad if I tell you respect. You're disrespecting if I'm coming with an agenda or I'm trying to fix players, just so that. Who's from my zone and he's not even good enough, but then I'm guilty. But if I'm actually sitting at the table and being honest and not zone specific, and saying no, this is and I'll argue my point, saying no, this is eventually my point may not be taken, but I could be outvoted. But you say your mind, you speak your mind, you say this is my player, this is what I want, and you argue. At the end of the day, it is possible that other 4 selectors go with what. And you lose out, but you be honest. You be honest. So I think it is a very personality thing. I know of a lot of players who may not have played a lot of cricket, but if they were in that position, they could have stood their ground. But I don't know. I'll give you an example. Like because we were just talking about names, and these are players that I know. Again, it's conjecture. I've never spoken to him, but I'm just trying to think of personalities. A Murli Karthik may not have played those many games, right, as compared to a Rohit. But I know he's the sort of personality. If he was a selector and if he believes in a player, he is going to put his foot down and argue for that player. Whether it's Rahul Dravid, whether it is Virat Kohli or whatever. He's not going to be, because these guys have played more, so I will be reluctant. I'm just saying it's a personality thing also. He may again be outvoted and said, no, we are going. But I know it's the personality of the person who will say, no, boss, this is what I want, and this is why he should be paid. And eventually it doesn't get it. Also,
I hope you're right. But for that to happen,
but that's rare. I agree with you.
BCCI needs to give the
Full confidence.
Exactly.
Yeah.
They need to empower that person.
Yes.
In essence.
Hopefully, maybe that happens.
Like another example of Ajit Agarkar.
Yeah.
I agree with you. But in Ajit's case, he's played a lot of cricket. So
So he'd have that standing by default.
Yeah.
And he's making good money also, by the way.
Yeah, why would he leave?
BCCI
Yeah.
will have to raise the contract fee also.
Correct.
Yeah. No, but I'm just giving it a personality sometime. I'm saying, like, say Raman Lamba. Again, the late Raman Lamba. We knew that he was a very strong personality. Had he been made a selector, I'm just saying, would he have been a guy who would succumb to that? I don't think so.
Going by what happened in that video, what was said.
No,
in
it
that
may
video,
have happened.
Two strong personalities.
Ah.
What happened?
Yeah. But at least, you are saying that at least that strong personality is, representing his case.
Ravi Shastri, Pratik Mandal. Ravi Shastri makes that amount of money in a day.
For
What
a
you're
yeah.
going to give him
For a year. Yeah.
as a selector. Anyways,
Chalo, this will go on for very long. Maybe someday we'll do the discussion.
actually,
For the moment, see you. Bye-bye. Signing off. See you tomorrow.